I'm going to show you how to use Crystal Ball. Right here we have a word problem, and with this word problem we have an Excel document that corresponds with it. Down here we have everything already inputted from a previous problem, so at this point it could either be from a different problem or that this can all be given to you, or just have to type it in. But one thing to be careful of is that you need to make sure everything's linked. So you need to make sure everything is linked within the Excel document up to these changing cells that are going to be part of the Crystal Ball report. So at this point you want to make sure that when you're going through the word problem you write it out in Excel. I find it very easy to do so. So at this point it tells you it's a uniform distribution with a maximum value of 1.8 million units and a minimum of 0.8 million. So what you want to do is come over here and actually write this out. It's going to be uniform, so that way you have to keep going back and forth. This is for the units, and you have a max and min. So you want to actually not put 0.8 million. You want to put 800,000 or 1.8 or 1,800,000. So at this point, wrote that out, and then you look at a triangular distribution in which the minimum price is $15. Most likely price of $20 and a maximum of $25. I just came in here, typed that out, so that way you don't have to keep going back and forth. The next one is cost of goods. It's a percentage of revenue. It's uniformly distributed with minimum of 55% and a max of 70%. So I came over here and actually wrote that out. It's uniform. It's from revenues and COGS, so that way I know when I look over here where it's going to. And then finally, there goes the cost percentage of the mean of 15% and the standard deviation of 5%. So just wrote it out again, that it's normal and it's from revenues and this. So at this point, you click on the cell that you want to change, and the price is already at $20. So what I want to do is go to Define Assumptions, click on this, and then since I know that I'm looking at price, I look over here at unit price, what I wrote down earlier, define assumptions, and it's triangular. So when I do minimum, I click on this box right here, and it actually lets me choose a cell, so that way it is linked, and if I ever have to change again, I don't have to go through Crystal Ball to do it. I can do it right here. So this is the minimum. I click on the minimum cell, click OK, and then the likeliest, I click on the same box, and then click on the maybe. I just labeled it different. Click OK, and then the maximum, click on the box again, click on the 25, and then click OK. You can click enter. I just do that to be safe, and then you can click OK. So at this point you know it worked because the cell turned green. For units, I'm going to look over here at units, and it tells me that I need to do uniform, so I do define assumption, click on uniform, and for the minimum, click on the same box, and I look over at minimum, click on this cell, click OK, and then I go to the maximum, and then I click on max, click OK, enter just to be safe, and then you push OK. Again, this cell highlighted green, so I know I'm good to go. For the COGS, I click on this cell, and this tells me that it is uniform, so I go to uniform and minimum, click on the same cell, and then reference it. Same thing with maximum, reference your maximum. And it's also a good check that you know for uniform there's only going to be a minimum and max. If it is for triangular, it'll have three different options. There'll be the maybe cell. So that's just a smell test that'll help you figure out you're in the right one. So you click OK at this point, and the final one is variable from operating cost. So click on this, and from the word problem it says normal. Click on normal, and the mean is 15%. Make sure I link those. Standard deviation is 5%. Link those. Click OK. Click enter just to be safe, and then close that out. So what you're trying to find right here is the net operating income. So you want to define the forecast at this point, so that way you're going to the right area. So what I did, I just clicked define forecast and OK, because I already have the cell next to it says net operating income, so it's linked together. So my next step, I want to make sure that I don't have any other Excel spreadsheets open, because if I did crystal ball on a previous one and I left it open, when I click start, it's going to run all the different crystal balls that are open. It's kind of confusing to find out which is the right one that you're looking at. So you click start. It's running 1,000 variations. You can see from the trials right here. The sensitivity report, you can close that out if you don't need it. So this shows me right here that the chart that I need to do. So one of the questions is, what's the mean? So you go to preferences, you go to chart, and then chart type, and then at this point you can click mean or whatever else you're looking for. So you can do the median, mode, standard deviation. So right now I need mean, so I just click OK, and it shows me it's 5,341,000 some change. So this gives me an answer to one of the questions that is in Word. So the net operating income, or the mean, for next year is approximately 5.3 million. So that's exactly what it is. So the probability of achieving this at 3 million, well, if you go to the chart and then you click, you want to do 3 million, and you click enter, this is at least 3 million. So the probability is actually 85.36%. So I just typed in the very least. That's what this section is over here. This is the max. So if you wanted to max at 3 million, you could put it on the cell on the right hand side, and then it'll actually tell you what it is. And so for this question, it says do a sensitivity chart. So the easiest way to do a sensitivity chart is to go back to your chart and then click on forecast, and it says open sensitivity chart. Once you open this, you can actually see what the different percentages are. So at this point, I know units has the highest percentage, so it's units sold for the answer. So that's the easiest way to do crystal ball. Just make sure that you type out everything that you need to in the cells, so that way you have to keep going back to the Word document. You can also go and make sure that everything is linked within what you're trying to change. Because if not, instead of putting B5, and if you just put 60%, it's not going to work correctly. So you just need to make sure that everything is linked correct. Thank you.